Skinner, Dean and Cochrane. Together, The Frank Skinner Show.
Absolute Radio.
This is Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio with Emily, Dean and Alan Cochrane. You can text the show on 81215, follow the show on Twitter at Frank on the Radio, or you can email us through the Absolute website. Good morning.
Morning.
My co-hosts.
I thought you were going to say cohorts.
I could have said cohorts. What else could I have said? Well, anyway. How been you?
Colleagues, staff.
Yes.
Morning, my staff.
Is everything all right?
Yeah.
Good. I gave Alan a 20 CD audio book of the Steve Jobs biography.
Yeah, I witnessed that this morning. Plastic still on. MIB, I believe they call it in the trade.
Is that right?
Mint in box. That's what Jonathan Ross calls it when he buys toys.
It was mint in box.
Yeah.
That's when I bought that polo that time. And I must say he wasn't as excited as I thought he'd be by the 20 CD Steve Jobs.
It was an awful awkward moment when he said, you said you wanted it. Yeah, and Alan went, did I? I could have killed myself.
I'm happy to take it back.
There was a little bit
no, he's got all passive-aggressive. I can't bear it.
There was a little bit of what the Cockneys call a bum steer, I believe. I think we're allowed to say that on the radio.
I think you can say a bum steer.
Where you said, I've got something that I promised you ages ago, and reached into your bag, and I thought you were going to bring out the DVD of Carnival Series 2. And,
yes, this is another long-running thing we've got going.
And then it was a thing that I don't remember saying, that
Steve Jobs.
I'll still listen
Who
to
knows? If you don't like it, just throw it out the car window on the motorway.
I'll tell you what, if I don't, then I've got 20 new coasters, haven't I?
That's one way of looking at it.
What?
Frank's a big fan of those.
Yeah.
The coaster, yeah.
Especially if they're Steve Jobs. No, I shouldn't say this because somebody sent me this, so it was nice of them. But do you know Steve Jobs? No, but thanks for the tip. I had...
Doesn't quite work, that one.
Well, not on breakfast radio. I had...
I just got it.
Oh, gosh. I had a bit of a falling out with my girlfriend this week, and we had an argument. Well, we've had one or two correspondences to the show saying "shut up" about Doctor Who.
Well,
we have actually,
and we've also had many that have not said that.
You can't please everyone.
About that.
Turns out you can't please anyone.
Yes.
One man said, "Stop going on about Doctor Who." #kids TV.
Yes.
And I'm about to marry that man.
Yes. Well, I'm going to appear at the wedding with an axe. No, anyway, so I am going to stop going on about it. But we had I watched the anniversary special last week. To be honest, there were large sections of it I didn't understand.
Right.
So I thought I'll watch it again. So my girlfriend had been away for the weekend, so the watching of the anniversary was a painless experience. But the re-watching of it when she was at home, I was, anyway, I just thought I'd watch a bit of it, see if I can pick up. I won't bore you with details, but there was stuff I didn't get. I still don't get some of it, but anyway. So
were you watching it looking for like logic?
I was trying to find out. I was trying to find out how this. I didn't quite get how the truth worked with the Zygons. I'll be honest with you.
Okay.
But anyway, I got it now.
Oh, good.
But then she said to me, "I can't believe you're watching this," and I said,
I love Kathy."
And I said, "Well, you said you didn't. I offered to let you watch anything you like, and she said." Can I just say, you watching this while I'm in the room, I find incredibly, incredibly offensive. And I thought, well, for a start-off, which I didn't say to her, I'm not sure you can stack incrediblies. It's not like very easy. I don't know if we've got any grammarians listening, but can you... That's the first text in this morning.
Can you stack incredibly?
Can you stack incredibly?
Absolute Radio.
Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio.
So, yes, I was just, in case you missed the beginning, my girlfriend said me watching the Doctor Who anniversary for a second time was incredibly, incredibly offensive. Can you say you can say really, really or very, very?
Yeah. Can you say...
I'm not sure if you
Incredibly,
can say.
incredibly.
Well, you can say it for sure, but whether or not it means...
Thanks for
anything
making those
more.
parameters clear to me. I was unsure.
Yes. I haven't been called incredibly offensive since the 90s.
Yeah.
It's a big moment for me. Ink off, I think we'll reduce it to now in our house. That was ink off. We could have the Great British Ink Off,
Lovely.
where people say not very offensive or do not very offensive things, but other people are very, very offended by
I
them.
thought the Great British Ink Off was just where people come along and get tattoos removed.
That would be, it will come. There's been a Great British everything off.
What happened? Did you make up then?
Yeah, we did.
Okay.
After 24 hours.
24?
Yeah.
Oh, that's a long.
Yeah, well, it was...
lot
you
of
know,
hours.
Was it a really long Doctor Who programme that you watched?
75 minutes. I didn't watch... I stopped watching it then.
Oh, did you?
I didn't think I could carry on after that.
But the row still maintained.
Well, I went straight to bed in a massive hofty,
Did you?
and then we spoke about it the next day.
The row stays in the room for a good 7 or 8 hours, I find, even if both parties have left.
The rows have got incredible stamina, staying power.
Oh, yeah.
They'll linger, and anyway, it's all better now. I'm
Lovely.
very, very glad to say. And what else did I do this week? I went to the opera. You know,
Lovely. What did
Yeah.
you go and see?
I saw Satyagraha.
Oh, I'm sorry
Or-
to hear
and
that.
It could be Satyagraha. I'm not sure about the... it's one of those things where I never really knew what the name was, even though I was watching it.
Oh, yeah.
It's a Philip Glass opera.
Oh, it's
about-
one of the modern ones.
It's a
I'm
modern
more
one.
Labo
It's a-
M
it's
fan myself.
about Gandhi. And you know I love Gandhi.
In an opera?
Well, I love Gandhi, but that's an extraordinary subject for an opera.
Gandhi
You know,
in
all
opera form?
Gandhi in opera form. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I wore a turban with a white plume.
All right. It's one
the
of those
top.
ones where you go dressed up. Like
It's like, I went to the opening night of Bombay Dreams. Do you remember Bombay Dreams?
Yeah, I
that
do.
musical?
Yeah.
And there was lots of non-Indian people who were there in Indian dress. Lots of white people. I thought it was a bit peculiar.
Right. And you didn't go to the Gandhi
Peculiar.
opera in
No,
Gandhi,
that
yeah.
wasn't my modus opera grandi. Opera Gandhi. Opera Gandhi. Yes. No, I didn't. Although I kept looking at his sandals. And do you remember when we did a thing on the show about his
Yeah, you
flip-flops
got auctioned
Oh, yeah.
off, didn't
were
you?
auctioned? I had that flashback of that.
Yeah.
We never found out how much they went for.
I don't know. Could you get onto it, please, Charlie? Thank
No,
you.
no, it's all right. It's
Just Google Gandhi plus flip-flop plus
yeah,
price.
Price.
Yeah. So did you like the Gandhi opera?
Oh, God, it was great.
Was it?
Yeah.
Was there a song about passive resistance?
Well, it was all in Sanskrit,
Oh.
so I couldn't be certain of that. I'm not joking, it was all in Sanskrit.
No, I didn't think you were.
No, who'd joke about that? Oh, Frank Skinner's doing his all in Sanskrit thing he does all the
Yeah.
time.
I found
Did you
it
see the Doctor Who anniversary?
incredibly-
Yeah, but it was the version I saw. It was all in Sanskrit. Was it? Really? That is incredibly. Yeah.
I'm a huge fan of Gandhi, but to be fair, I think I'd rather
Sure
watch
you-
the Doctor Who special.
I'll tell you what I'm going to do with Gandhi.
Friend of the show.
I think we can officially term him a friend of the show. And also,
a long time coming, that, hasn't it?
yeah.
It's been a long time coming.
and also, I think Emily loves him because I think he was 6 years on the trot. Was he Slimmer of the Year?
Absolute Radio.
Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio.
So I went to the cinema, so I just get all my activities out the way in one big globular
yeah.
lump.
I'm hearing it all.
Opera and the cinema in the cinema.
I went to. Well, you see, my sister-in-law
Oh, yeah.
is. We used to have a thing called Cinema Club, where me and her went to the cinema about once a fortnight.
What was the first rule of Cinema Club?
First rule of Cinema Club was there is no cinema club, and then she got married, and I thought, people get married. It's a bit like that, that Laurel and Hardy thing where they get. Ollie gets married and Stan buys him a jigsaw for the wedding present and says, well, now you're married, I didn't think we'd be going out as much, so there'd be something for us to do in the evening. I hadn't quite got the concept of what happens. Anyway, it's our first cinema club post-marriage. So one of my favourite books ever is a thing called Ender's Game.
Right.
Orson Scott Card. So the film of that is out, but I like to catch films on the downward trajectory.
Do you?
So everyone's seen it, and I see in like cinema number 18
Yeah.
at the multi-screen, which houses 12 people.
Yeah.
So we did that. Although we had a bit of confusion, I must say, at the Odeon Leicester
Did you have a
Square.
bit of trouble? You went a bit Frank Spencer there.
The Odeon Leicester
a little
Square.
bit of trouble.
We said 2 tickets for Ender's Game, and he was a bit presumptuous and thought, obviously, they mean Hunger Games.
Oh, he gave you Hunger
Which
Games.
isn't even called Hunger Games, is it? It's
It's called Catching Fire.
Yeah.
Is it?
So
Yeah.
we ended up with 2 tickets. We went into the end. We wouldn't let us into Ender's Game because we had 2 tickets for Hunger's Game. A man said to me,
Hunger's Game.
"This is not my. I cannot do. I have not authority to let you in."
Manuel.
And I said, there's 4 people in there. We'll just go in and sit in there. I have not authority. So we had to get someone else who had authority.
So you've gone from Frank Spencer to Manuel. Who's next?
Yeah, exactly.
Well, he went to someone who had
Protests.
authority. He went to Robert Mugabe.
Anyway, I loved the film, but we sat in the there's only about 10 rows in there.
Yeah.
So we sat in the last but one row. That's where our actual, this stupid thing you have to sit where your ticket says. In cinemas with 4 people in.
Yeah.
I mean, for goodness sake.
It's not like at the
Dear
football.
BBC. So there was a. I could hear, when you're watching the adverts before the film, and you can hear,
Ba, ba,
and you
ba,
can hear
ba,
from
ba,
behind you. Oh yeah, and you think now these are either people who are just they talk because they think it's the adverts. It's fine to talk now, or they're people who are going to talk.
I really
Oh,
like your impression
talkers.
of them.
Yeah, I like how they go.
Yeah, so I looked at Rachel and said, "Oh, are these going to be talkers?" And she said, "Oh, well, we can always move. I mean, let's face it, there was other options."
And do you know what they heard from back there?
Yeah, they did. They did, yeah, and they probably thought, But then I looked around, and it was a young couple, and they were. I didn't realise that people canoodled in the back row anymore.
Were they canoodling?
They were get this. She was sitting on his lap.
What?
That's not canoodling. Just FYI, that's a hell of a lot more than canoodling.
Well, I mean, I was outraged by. I did some canoodling in the back row as a young man, not much. Not always with anyone else, but.
Oh my
I
God,
never-
that is the most disgusting revelation.
I
No,
would-
it's not. I read your autobiography.
I would never, in a million years, have let someone sit on my lap in the cinema. Partly the
good.
the resentment that I'd paid for a seat that wasn't being used.
You're listening to Frank Skinner's podcast from Absolute Radio.
So, here's the thing. Since I think maybe Tuesday or Wednesday, I haven't bought any Louis Vuitton luggage. I don't know about you guys. Are you also observing the Kanye West boycott?
I think I
of,
bought a small clutch,
to replace your bowling bag handbag.
like Wednesday afternoon.
That looked very LV, your bowling bag, handbag. I'm going to ring them up, because I can get an audience with them, unlike Kanye.
Oh, that is a
Oh,
zing,
you
though,
can
isn't it?
as well, I bet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was upset, wasn't he?
Because I think, in fairness, he did get quite a big zing from the CEO. Was it the CEO?
Yeah, I believe so.
He asked for a
Yves
meeting
Carcel.
with the boss of Louis Vuitton, who said...
Kanye West did.
Kanye West did.
I believe the boss said, "I don't understand why we need to meet with you," which
Yeah.
I thought was
Does
perfectly
he work
reasonable.
at the Odeon Leicester Square? on a weekday.
It's the
It's
generic
actually-
voice.
I knew it was a Wednesday because it was an Orange Wednesday day.
Of course it was.
Yeah.
Always got one eye on the housekeeping budget, haven't you? And I'm the
Exactly.
one on the show that gets accused of thriftiness.
I think I've been drinking out of your cup.
Oh, well, I could get very frugal about that.
Frugal Sharky. So why
So
did
he was upset.
why did Kanye want to meet with the
Because
boss of Louis Vuitton?
He feels that he should be able to pick up the phone to any brother, and he can just get on the phone and say, you should want to meet with me. I'm going to be good for your company. In this instance, they're doing all right, LV. They don't really need Kanye's help.
He wanted free stuff, didn't he?
He wanted
No,
freaks.
I think he wanted
I think
to
he did.
launch a... I bet he wanted to say, listen, why don't you do like a Kanye bag or something? Like a Kanye
KLV.
backpack. Yeah, he probably had
Yeah.
like an idea.
Oh, but
I hate it when people get ideas, don't you?
You don't think he's got...
Hey,
you
don't get ideas.
Has he got a fragrance on the back burner?
Oh, probably.
Yeah,
Therefore,
on the Bunsen burner.
Oh, they love a fragrance. That's the
He
new
wouldn't
thing.
go to LV with that, would he? He'd have a little, aren't they?
What would you do,
They're not
Al,
that smells, are
if
they?
someone
No,
came
they
to you
do
and
smells
said...
as well, darling.
do they?
It's a luxury conglomerate.
Oh, is it?
I knew that.
Did you?
Yeah.
Thank you, Frank. I'm so proud that you knew that.
Yeah, I knew they did smells, definitely. Would you, if you were offered your own fragrance, Alan...
Yes.
Extraordinary conversation.
I'm not. This is what comedians talk about nowadays. I can imagine some of the people at the top end have probably already been offered their own fragrance.
Who's got? Oh, who can you imagine? Stephen K. Amos. He'd have fragrance.
Maybe. I should think Michael McIntyre would have the offer of
Jimmy
if he
Farr.
wanted his own fragrance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But you're asking me, would
Would
I?
you?
No, I don't think so.
even if the money was good.
Yeah, I'd do that then.
Okay. it's amazing how many what ifs I solve with Alan by adding just that extra bit.
Frank
Skinner.
on Absolute Radio.
Absolute Radio.
We were talking about is it
KW.
Kanye or Kanye
Wow, let's call the whole thing.
West?
Yeah.
Yes, okay.
He's upset because the head of LV won't meet with him.
Yeah, it's a definite
He's a
case
hater,
of,
not a player celebrator.
It's a definite
Yeah.
case of handbags at dawn, isn't it?
Oh, lovely
But
work.
he did. I liked his reason. What he says, I've got tremendous power or something.
And
didn't he?
influence,
Oh,
yeah.
they don't know the power I've got. I'm made for this moment, that's what he said.
I'm made for this moment.
I mean, it would be easy to despise Kanye, but I have a certain admiration for all those people who use the jump leads, as I would say. So there's a section of the where the thought comes in your brain, and then it goes through the sort of self-censoring area of the brain, and then it reaches the mouth. And I think he's got jump leads from the initial thought to mouth.
Yeah.
And I think we've probably all had thoughts about how brilliant we are. That's what people do.
Daily.
But, you know, you keep it...
Yeah.
Just keep it under... But not Kanye, it's out there. Said
Yeah.
it. Oh, said it. Man, I said it. Too late. Too late, Kim. You said it? Are you crazy? I just said it. Couldn't help it. You said you got power. I said it. It's said. Shut up about it, girl. It's said.
Shut up about it, girl.
I love the insight into
little
the
insight
West
there, yeah.
household.
That's what I think. I think he knows he's doing it. He can't help it. It's
It's like
out.
watching the Kardashians, where
Yeah, keeping up with the
Kanye's making a
Kardashians.
little guest spot.
I like the idea of getting outraged because someone won't. You just like someone and they won't meet with you. So it's
Yeah.
like I wanted to meet the Northampton clown. He wouldn't meet with me. I actually asked via Twitter.
That's a
But I
shame,
don't
isn't
ban circuses now.
No, but...
You're not boycotting them.
Yeah.
Were you instrumental in the death threats? That's what I want. I mean, I'm sure... Anyway, what he said, told all his fans not
Yeah.
to buy Louis Vuitton until the end of January.
Yeah. Which, I mean, if I said that, everybody would just think Alan's waiting for the sales and he's urging us to
Yeah.
do the same.
Yeah, but the end of January, you miss the sales, wouldn't you?
Oh,
Is that
yeah.
what he's doing?
See, he's not
Yeah.
even got an eye on the housekeeping
no.
budget. He's-
No, I think what he's doing...
He's
is
out of his
sort
depth. He needs to give me a ring.
He's still trying to get in with them. He's saying, well, don't buy in January. And he's thinking, well, he's not going to lose them that much because it's all on sale anyway.
Yeah.
So I can go back and say, look, I could have said start February.
He
and then
claimed-
you'd have really lost money.
He claimed the whole of New York that was it.
But he was also somewhat hoisted on his own petard by the fact that the next day some photographs of his luggage with Louis Vuitton bags were
No.
taken.
Yeah, but to be fair, he bought that before the ban.
Oh, good point.
It's like if I bought
I like that
apples.
he's a Kanye apologist now.
If I bought apples before apartheid, that's fine.
Yeah.
It's
You
only
say
when
that, Frank. Can you imagine the poor person who carried that bag in? I told you not to use that bag. He
Yeah.
must have gone mental.
Yeah.
Well, I don't.
Put it in a
I
carrier
think.
bag.
I think he didn't condemn already owned goods.
Yeah.
It's an economic.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a reduce, reuse, recycle guy.
Yeah. Exactly.
When he gets rid of his Louis Vuitton, he's going to use a Sainsbury's bag for life. One of those Hessian-y looking ones.
But I do respect his. Oh, you wouldn't really call it honesty. 'Cause I think when you're honest, you think, you know what, I'm going to be really honest about this. I don't think that there's that kind of delay.
No.
You know,
Yeah.
I'm against quoting newspaper comments.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
But just
But
after I'd read about Kanye West, I read on the side of the page, I was Mail Online. There was a Rachel Riley splits up with her husband, and I thought, I'll read that. And I went to that, and someone had written, there was all these views about why she'd left her husband, and some person had written, LOL, he's pot ugly. And usually I'd think, people are so vile, it's disgusting. But I think having read the Kanye had set me up for things this is often someone else who got the jump leads on. It just came out. And whereas I would have been so I think maybe Kanye is laying the way for us all to be just completely open with each other. What about that?
Oh, great, I can't wait. He strikes me as quite an exhausting friend, he'd be, I think, Kanye, wouldn't he?
Yeah.
Can you imagine if he didn't return his texts or... it'd be awful.
Be careful with that.
He'd be very high maintenance, Frank.
I don't think he'd be good for you as a pal.
Kanye?
I don't think he'd be good for you as a pal, because he's urging people to boycott luxury brands and stuff.
That
could be easy for me. I mean,
I'll have no part of that.
That'd put you in a tricky position at work, wouldn't it?
Oh, yeah. Sleeping with the enemy.
Yeah.
Terrible.
I mean, I'm also boycotting whatever, Crystal champagne. I'm boycotting
it's Cristal, FYI.
No, Crystal. It's a different one. It's a spin-off.
That's such a lie, because you got it wrong.
That Lidl do.
Let us not forget, though, that when I said that Fortnum and Mason's Piccadilly was the best Piccadilly I'd ever tasted...
Oh, yeah, they sold out.
They sold out.
They did.
So,
you have influence.
They don't realise my powers, can't you? So.
Have you requested a meeting with the MD of Fortnum and Mason?
I haven't.
Skinner hamper.
Can you imagine Frank on the phone? All right, it's Frank here. Oh.
All right.
Frank, we've had a text in.
That was your impression of Adrian Child.
No, that's Adrian. All right, Frank, it's Adrian here.
He always says, mate. All right, mate.
All right, mate. This is from Sarah. She says, Frank, I was at the theatre when a young couple in the row in front of me were canoodling.
Oh, in front, that's worse.
I don't want to see that. The young lady was sat on the young man's lap, obviously a popular position, whilst everyone around studiously tried to ignore the giggling and sloppy kissing sounds. What are the sounds, Frank, if you could remind us?
I don't think that was kissing. I think it was sweet nothings.
I was outraged and tapped the woman on the shoulder and told her to go and sit on the seat she'd paid for.
Wow.
They didn't return after the interval. I really respect that.
That's 2 seats wasted.
Yeah.
I was on a train.
I wouldn't have had that courage.
I was on a train and there was a young couple canoodling on the seats across from me, and I don't know if it says something about how old I am. I looked at them and went... I just genuinely thought to myself, God, if I was in that position for as long as he's been in that position, I'd have cramp by now. He was all twisted up and she was sort of leaning on him and they were sort of canoodling, and I just thought, there's no way I
don't mind the young doing it, you see. No. But I can't, if you own property, you can't do that. Public canoodling. It's too late, long in the tooth. I cannot bear... The elderly, I'm going to call it that, over 25.
When you say property, does that include an Xbox? I don't, I don't object to the youth canoodling, but in a cinema you have to do it quietly, surely. I suppose they had gone for the back row. I like their traditionalism.
Mm-hmm. It's like dry stone walling, practically, isn't it? Traditional, old school.
Yeah.
Thought it died out.
Well,
I think you meant sex for the elderly.
Frank, they used to have a double seat back in the day, didn't they?
Did they?
Yeah, I believe so.
You still get cinemas now, where you can have a sofa and and proper food. Not the cinema, as far as I'm concerned.
No, you've got very strict requirements from a cinema, haven't you?
Yes, I like.
We're not going to go down that road again, are we?
I was just saying.
God.
No, but if you buy a ticket for one film, you expect to have.
Yeah.
Not get a ticket for another film, that's all I'm saying. I don't think that's outrageous. I'm not asking you to boycott the Odeon Leicester Square, can I make that perfectly clear? Because I'm seeing the manager on Tuesday.
This is
Frank Skinner, Absolute Radio.
This is Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio with Emily Dean and Alan Cochrane. text the show on 81215, follow the show on Twitter at Frank on the Radio, or you can email us directly through the Absolute Radio website. That's www/ and more / The Guardian.
Well, this is very relevant, Frank, because we're about to go to email corner. I've made that decision.
Okay. Do
Just
you
FYI.
need the jingle?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I can't get
But keep that www in mind.
Right, here we go. Corner.
Email
Okay.
Okay.
Interesting harmonies today. A bit underpowered, if you don't mind me
Yeah, I
saying.
think sometimes you can put too much in.
Yeah. You held back. This is from Megan.
Okay,
She says, "Hey,
I got it.
I want to share a little secret with you, which we do down here in NZ."
Can I just interrupt? I like the fact this is one of the first emails that we've had that sounds like spam. I want to share a little secret with you.
Barely legal secrets.
Whoever thought
If you
when I was
deposit
a
this
young...
money in my account, I can share this little secret with you.
I'm getting sick of that spam.
But when I was
Ann
a young...
Summers,
when I
they
was a
send me
young
every day I
man...
get something from Ann Summers.
Yeah, me too.
I don't subscribe.
But
Not
I've got a
interested.
loyalty card. But if someone had said to me 30 years ago, it sounds like spam, I'd have been most confused, and now it's... Isn't it wonderful about progress?
Isn't it?
I managed to get through life without ever encountering spam.
Oh.
Yeah? Not even the Monty Python song about spam. Do you know that?
I can't bear Monty Python.
No.
Okay. I want to share a little secret with you, which we
Swimming
do
against
down
the
here
tide of public
in
opinion
NZ.
somewhat.
NZ, New Zealand,
Yes.
Got
Yes.
that.
New Zealand.
Very good.
It may ease your pain and anguish of saying www
Oh, yes.
every time you refer to Absolute's website during housekeeping tasks. So,
Which is... Oh.
if you want to embrace it, I'm sure we can speak on behalf... I can speak, I do apologise, on behalf of the nation of New Zealand, that you're most welcome to ours. We say dub. Try it. Rolls off the tongue quite nicely. This country's been using it for years successfully, and it would only take a few brave early adopters such as yourselves to sweep the Northern Hemisphere with its
Maybe.
genius and simplicity. Thank you, Megan.
Or you
Shall
can
we try
contact us direct through the Absolute...
Make it sound
radio.
like we're genuinely talking, Frank. Make it sound conversational.
Okay.
But Alan,
I reckon an announcement. Or you
Okay.
can contact us directly through the Absolute Radio. Dub. Absolute.
terrible.
I like
You
it.
said, no, you ruined your words, no, because you went contact us directly through the Absolute Radio. I didn't like that.
Sorry, I'm old.
I'm old.
Dub.
I will wear my trousers rolled.
I was thrown because when I said dub, I started to think that maybe my washing machine has been trying to communicate with me. Because that says dub on occasion.
I'm going to do it now.
Just makes me think.
I've got an
W
email
at the
from
top.
Ann Summers. That's what I'd say.
Yeah, but you need all the slashes and all that.
Okay.
No.
Where did
Dub
that
will
come
come.
from? When did oblique become slash?
Is that today's texting?
Yes.
Are we doing that after the
There are
intensifying...
Guns N' Roses. They'll be able to fill you in.
And is oblique an Irish goth? That's today's question.
Okay.
I've got so laid back now on the internet, so sort of casual about the whole... You know, I used to be for years thinking, wow, I'm on the World Wide Web. I'm so laid back now. I've started hitting I'm feeling lucky when I
Oh,
Google.
do you?
Yeah. I just think, let's see where we go. Let's see where we go on this one. It's like roulette. Try it.
You're listening to the Frank Skinner podcast from Absolute Radio. Want your Frank fix a little sooner? Listen live every Saturday from 8 a.m. on Absolute Radio. Across the UK on digital radio, mobile apps, and in London and the South East on 105.8 FM.
Absolute Radio.
Listen, we've had a text in from Nugget, who's one of my regulars.
Yes.
We were talking about dub. Nugget has just pointed out Ed Byrne told you guys about dub when he came in a couple of years ago. That was the non-ditch visit.
Did he? Well, you know, that's it. I don't retain everything, but well remembered.
Sorry
Nugget.
about that, Ed. We've got to give you your propers.
Short memories in show business, isn't it?
Oh, I'll say.
Big smile, short memory.
Nugget also emailed
Right,
earlier
right.
saying that he's listening to the show whilst cycling, but indoors. He's on one of those turbo train, I think.
I went on a fixed bicycle with my son yesterday, and it's next to a Christmas tree on the south bank
yeah.
of the Thames next to London. A large conurbation in the southeast of England.
It's very much, very specific
And,
story, this.
The harder you pedalled, the more snow fell on the Christmas tree.
Oh,
Oh, that's quite nice.
Yeah, it was.
That's nice.
That's what you see. You've got to have you need incentive for fitness. They should do more stuff like that in gyms and that. Maybe television. The television should be powered by your pedalling.
I've always
Or a
felt
really
like
good-looking man in bandages, and the faster you pedal, the bandage comes off.
See, if I'd have said something like that about a really good-looking woman, I would have been just because my first thought was those biros where you used to tip
Yeah,
them one
it's
way
like
and the bikini drops off. And I thought, I'm not saying that. That would be outrageous. And then you say it about a man.
Please don't apologise, I don't
And
mind.
bandages as well. Like he's not that well. He can't actually help himself if anything happens.
Yeah,
no.
but, you know, this is what happens. You had it your way for 2,000 years. We're getting our own back. It's lovely. Alan.
You 2000s. I mean, you've been going for ages, but I think it's a bit inappropriate to bring that up.
I think I can now announce on Absolute Radio that I am Joseph of Arimathea.
Oh, I love it when you speak Aramaic.
So, emails. We're still in email corner, I believe
Yes.
we are. Dear Lovelies.
I never pressed the exit jingle.
Oh, good. Dear
Oh, yeah.
Lovelies, feel this greeting avoids any unpleasant awkwardness if a sub has been brought to the bench this week to replace a member of the first team. Every evening...
Who's in a sitcom. Carry on.
Could have been. Every evening I randomly select a podcast from my Frank et al. Collection. Last night I listened to the Stevie Wonder Very Superstitious episode in which the team revealed they had no idea of Mr. Wonder's intended lyrics.
Very I thought it was Berry Superstition.
Yeah,
It was
you did.
Berry. Berry Superstition. We found out it was it That Is Superstition? Mine was better. Stick with Berry, that's my advice. That's what I said.
There is superstition.
That's why he stayed with Tamler all those years. I said stick with Berry. He thought I meant Berry Gordy.
It's led me to a misunderstanding of
His
lyrics.
outfits were Berry Gordy. Carry on.
It's led me to a misunderstanding of lyrics.
Is that
I
the
had for
first
many
ever
years.
Berry Gordy pod on Absolute Radio?
I'm pretty sure it
That's first ever very Gordy pun in life.
As a child of the 70s, I was the proud owner of 2 Disney soundtrack tapes, Lady and the Tramp and The Jungle Book.
Autobiography.
Am I the only person who believed that the secrets to a happy and fulfilled life could be attainable if one managed to find the elusive benecessities in the woods, presumably an exotic fruit or flower, as the wise Baloo the bear noted? It was years later it occurred to me the lesson had in fact been to strive for a simple life stripped down to the bare necessities.
What did... Is this a
She did it
lady?
was Benner, it's spelled B-E-N-E-R.
Sally, 993.
Sally, not...
She finishes by saying, "This is where I would normally insert gushing amounts of praise."
Don't get many Sallys these days.
No. I love the loss of names and its bemoaning. I've heard obviously this mistaken
Benner.
lyrics thing is a bit what happened to Spangles, so I don't want to dwell on it. But
Yeah.
I've never. Usually they mistake one word for another, not one word for something that doesn't exist.
2 words. That
Yeah.
She's gone to the trouble of making something up.
Yeah.
She thought it was Benes.
Benecessities.
I went out with him when I was in Turkey.
How was that?
It's marvellous.
Okay.
It's incredibly marvellous.
I have an image now of some Louis Vuitton shoes at the side of the bed next to some curly toe slippers. But maybe that's wrong of me. There was... oh, well, we'll come back to this, because I say I don't want to get into mistaken lyrics, but there was one from an advert which plagued me for years.
This is
Frank Skinner, Absolute Radio.
Where were we? You were about to tell us your misheard lyrics thing.
Oh, do I want to do that?
Well, if you don't, 990 has
My
texted in.
protest is, I don't
Yeah.
want to interrupt 990, but, you know, it's one of those things, isn't it, misheard lyrics?
Well, we've
Yeah,
had
it's a
about
bit kids say the
50
funniest
texts
things.
Yeah,
just
you
in
see,
the last 3 minutes.
I don't want to encourage it.
Did I say 50? I meant 50,000.
I
We've got
was
loads
okay.
of listeners.
I was
loads.
in the car coming in this morning. I had Heart on. It wasn't my choice. And they did about 4 minutes about man flu.
Oh,
And
yeah.
now man flu is about men pretending they're poorly when really they aren't.
Uh-huh.
And I thought, Why don't they just burn down the station and say this is a waste of time? We're just saying what everyone says.
I had a man on Heart FM once. I don't know which one it was.
that
He was
the end of the
talking about
story?
the
Which
summer.
Heart FM? Is this the Doctor Who version where there's 2 Hearts FM?
And he said, he was talking about the summer, and he said, tell you what I really hate about the summer is wasps. Oh, wasps, I hate them.
What are they for?
But he literally just said, wasps, I hate them. You
But,
can't just say that.
I know, don't get me wrong, they're all God's children. I've got nothing against them, but I don't want to get into misheard lyrics, really.
Okay,
But
we won't.
we'll hear this one now. You've started.
Well,
now.
actually, it's
I don't
more
want this
of a-
lady thinking, well, hold on, I was so close yet so far.
990s. It's more a bit of added value.
Okay.
Your Ben Necessities correspondent also missed Disney's clever pun.
Oh,
Clever
God.
fun.
gonna say-
I thought I was
Oh,
gonna say
thank God
fun
you're
now.
ill.
Everyone relax. Everyone relax.
5 pence, 50 pence, 5 pence, 50 pence.
Also missed Disney's clever pun. Baloo is singing about the bare necessities, as in B-E-A-R,
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
and bear.
B-A-R-E.
Yeah.
Of course.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Whoever 990 is just felt the need to text us that to tell us it.
No, but that's good.
Because they missed it by thinking it was bare necessities.
Yeah, but, even that pun is so obvious, you
Never
might think
shook a
it's...
pen at me
He's
before.
holding
I
a
don't know.
pen.
Even though,
Gettysburg Address.
but even though you're thinking, yes...
Talking about the bare necessities.
What is it? 8 score years. What is it? 8 score
So,
years?
yeah, I can't remember now. No,
Something like
This texting, what is it in the
What's
Gettysburg
it? What's
Address?
this? Yeah.
4 score years.
Is it?
4 score years. I bet. I know Sandy Warhol though.
Yeah.
4 score years and 37 or something like that.
Yeah.
I know that there's Anyway, sorry. Anyone who knows the opening bit of the
We can't spend the next
Gettysburg
10 minutes
Address.
whilst we both try and remember the
No,
Gettysburg Address.
I don't think we've ever had an Abe Lincoln text in though. It's something that's missing from this show. Yeah, and what my point was, even though you might think that's an obvious point and doesn't need stand, I would rather have that text than a misheard lyric. And the misheard lyric I was going to tell you about, which is hilarious, I'm going to sacrifice because I think it's a wrong thing to do. Because we'll start talking about old sweets, children's TV programmes we remember.
I like Wham-bars, if we are going to do that. Wham-bars. Do you remember Wham-bars?
See, you see how it happens?
No.
This is what
And do
happens.
you know what? He will kill again.
Yeah, I know. Yes, I'm a Gettysburg Address man.
Absolute Radio.
Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio.
We've had a text saying, LV, why is Kanye West getting so upset about luncheon vouchers?
Oh, yeah.
What if he said boycott lunch and vouchers? I feel it's a bit late in the day.
I won't have him around.
And she adds, when I was 18, I had a boyfriend who was so tight he only took me out for a meal if he could pay with his luncheon vouchers given to him by work.
She could have contacted you via means other than the radio.
Yes, that's right.
I forgot about
nice to hear
luncheon.
from you again, Julie. If you're around, Frank is a big fan of Orange Wednesdays. That's how it's...
That was an accident.
Oh,
when
yeah.
I saw Orange Wednesday, I thought it was going to be a Buddhist night.
Why am I stuck with these schnorrers? Google it.
Okay.
It's
they could
but
probably
make sure
guess
you've
it.
got a Yiddish
No.
setting on your Google search engine.
My entire iPhone is in Yiddish.
Is it?
Sometimes it confuses me. But it's all right. I didn't know. Honestly, I didn't know it was Orange Wednesday. Carry on.
Okay.
I do think Kanye's luncheon LV boycott is... it comes under the banner of first world problems, doesn't it? When the CEO of Louis Vuitton snubs you because you've decided to have a meeting with him. And I think perhaps unfairly a few weeks ago said
Yeah.
that Camilla Parker Bowles was committing a first world problem when she was moaning about how her Prince of Wales husband was hard to buy for because his Christmas and birthday are the same. Like they're really close together.
Can I just stop you? Should we explain what a first world problem is?
It's this, isn't it? It's when you moan about stuff that is really not that bad.
Yes.
Yeah.
If
It's
you're in a-
basically what I do all the time.
Yes.
Well, I've caught myself in a few recently. The other day I
What have you
genuinely said, quite perturbed, God, I've got to buy new cufflinks. I've had 2 pairs of cufflinks snap recently.
Really?
And then thought, oh, what?
I don't think of you as a cufflink. Are you a croupier by night?
Well, you know, I do a lot of corporate entertainment.
Do you wear cufflinks?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, do you wear one of those powder blue 70s ruffle shirts?
I would like one of those.
Yes.
In fact, I would like a powder blue dinner suit, because they were originally blue, weren't they? Blue and black.
I might have fun. I'll have a look.
Yeah, have a look. You've got about 95 suits.
Exactly. I can sort that out for you.
Hopefully they'll have a long hem on the trousers, so I could get them taken down.
Meaning
I'm taller than you. I don't think it's that cryptic.
Yeah, bring that up in
Yeah.
some sort of snidey way.
Yeah.
Actually, first world problems is a quite... I mean, what about that for... That's like a proper radio texting. If you have you found yourself moaning about first world problems? Or
That sound like a real DJ
I like that
when you
you're-
set up
also-
a real texting.
It's rather pointless asking me that. I think we know what the answer is.
I wasn't
gonna be.
asking you. I was
loads.
asking
You've
that was
got
me.
loads.
It's one of those rare occasions I speak to the viewers in the first person. Viewers now. They were readers, they're viewers.
You're listening to Frank Skinner's podcast from Absolute Radio.
Okay, we were talking about first world problem.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how I'm so rough on my cufflinks, but anyway, I went to get...
What's your favourite pair?
Well, I did have a pair that
I've got some Bruce Lees.
No.
Have
Just the
you?
face of Bruce Lee on them. Yeah.
Oh,
Have you?
They would be my favourites if I owned them.
I've got Laurel and Hardy.
I've got Laurel and Hardy.
I've got
but they were-
Elvis. I've got West Bromwich Albion crest, but you haven't got them with you. I've got them and I've got these and I've got those. And I've got Andy Warhol soup cans.
No.
Yeah. I've
The
also
originals
got...
or prints.
They are cufflinks. And I've got hot and cold, the old tap
Oh,
tops.
yeah.
That's just a little selection. Just a little selection.
I like that you've got those old taps. That's your keeping it real thing.
If only I'd thought
Yes.
to text you on Wednesday rather than going to M&S and buying
I could
some.
have FedExed you some over.
Yeah, you could bite them over. That would have
Yeah.
been great.
I have a lot of
would be-
first
Anyway,
world
I like this
problems.
tale of the missing link.
I love it, Frank.
I had a bit of a first world thingy this week, problem. I was saying to my personal assistant,
Oh, you don't really need to continue the anecdote.
I was saying, I really am unsure how to store my neckties. If I just hang them over a coat hanger, they keep slipping off, because of course they're heavier at one end. You have to hang them very precisely. The slightest bit of movement off they come.
Yeah.
Some of them I never unknot. I wear them
really?
for the first time and I leave them knotted, and they hang like noosai.
Well, that's
That's the plural.
not the way to look after a good
No,
suit
but
tie,
that you say that, but you see that knot then is there forever, so the creases always remain in the same place. Don't give me that look.
No, I don't like the way
But
you're
then
treating
she
that tie.
said, well, what about this hanger? It's got a bit of foam around the bottom bar. And
Sounds attractive.
They got a bit more purchase.
They have actually, Frank.
So that's what I'm on at the moment.
We're
If
learning
anyone's,
some important retail lessons.
I have.
if anyone's got any ideas,
I have a solution. But,
you have a solution.
Don't want to spoil it. Santa's coming soon. There's a.
It better
there's
not
like
be.
a-
It better not be drawing pins.
There's a hanger that you can get that has lots of different little bars on it, and you can put your ties over it.
Oh, the
so
teeth hangers,
effectively
yeah.
next to your suit, you've
But
got
why is
a
that
tie
different?
hanger.
But why is that different from hanging them over the lower bar of a coat hanger?
Because then you're separating them all.
I
and
love
they're
this
going
conversation.
downwards.
I see.
Do you see what I'm?
So then, do they
Hang
look
on,
like
I'll
the
draw it for you.
Do the pointy ends look like, when you've got it very heavily laden? Do they look at the extremity like the scales on a fish back?
Yeah, if you like.
Okay, I'll do it. Oh, by the way, the Gettysburg Address, we had an answer to that.
Yeah, we
didn't
did.
Yes, dear Frank, Emily and the Cockerel, the Gettysburg Address starts 7 years ago. It is also under 200 words long. Love the show.
Oh, yeah.
It was very brief, I remember. It's famously brief.
I think that's what he's pointing
Yeah.
out.
I think the man
Or
before
she.
had done like a talk that had gone on for about 40 minutes.
He overran,
then
didn't he?
Lincoln does 200-word Gettysburg Address, and it's immortalised. Also, a contemporary report, I remember reading this, in the press at the time, they wrote the address, and you know what journalists are like? And to keep the words down, they wrote nearly 90 years ago. Instead of fourscore, yeah. So, So...
Absolute Radio.
Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio.
I texted Daisy this week, bit of a first world problem. Was it the other weekdays? I said, "Oh, this makeup artist, she's chewing gum." That is quite first world.
It is.
Well, in fairness to me, my makeup artist is chewing gum. She was blowing bubbles. She was Icelandic. Love an Icelandic. Quite inscrutable, though, I discovered.
See, she'd be blowing bubbles because they've got a lot of carbon monoxide in it from the geezers.
And do you know how I reacted? Instead of saying, "Please, can you take the chewing gum out of your mouth?" What I did was I just heard this pop and I went, "Oh, God!" I thought it was, oh! And then I said, "Oh, sorry, I thought it was a car backfiring outside." That's exactly what I said.
Wow. Have you ever seen Carry On Cowboy? When Kenneth Williams says, "Was that gunfire I hear or just a horse backfiring?"
I know, we didn't get along. I also told her to stop texting while she was doing my makeup. I looked at her, I said, "You're going to have to stop texting while you're doing my makeup."
She was really? She sounds like a...
Good.
She went, "1 minute, please."
I've said that to a few drivers, but it feels like there's more jeopardy involved
You
in
say
doing
that.
your makeup.
Yeah, exactly.
540 Joanne has texted in, "My partner was particularly upset at not getting 3 stars on an Angry Birds level." That is a first world problem.
That is. Also, I've lived the last 2 months without a microwave.
Yeah, that's fine, isn't
That's
it?
good for you,
No.
isn't it?
No, I hate it.
Oh.
And the
The
thing is,
microwaves gives you the radiation sickness. That's I always think that.
I think that's...
Is that 70s old wives'
I
tale?
think that's radioactivity you've got them mixed up with.
Oh, I don't know.
But I thought, this is what I thought, how rubbish is this? I thought, well, shall I throw it away? Because it operates as a perfectly good cupboard.
Yeah.
I could just keep it as a white cupboard.
Yeah.
And I thought, well, it'd be a cupboard with like a Lazy Susan in it.
Yeah.
You know, the turntable. So if the stuff at the back of the cupboard you need, rather than having to reach or move stuff around. And then it made me think, maybe all cupboards should have a Lazy Susan because...
Great idea, Frank.
You can then you can get at everything very easily without having to move the other stuff.
We've got a spinny cupboard.
Yes,
You know,
me
those
too
ones-
as well, Alan.
Yeah,
Have you
the
not?
ones in the corner where you spin
Yes,
stuff.
I've got that.
Yes.
A what?
A spinny cupboard where it's in the corner, so it would have been wasted space back in the 80s.
But it's got a turntable inside it.
Yeah, I've got that. A metal turntable, though.
Really? Well, I
like a
thought
spinny.
I'd invented that.
Sorry, love.
Mind you, I did make a vow a few years ago that I wouldn't have any more cupboards in the house until they'd sorted out their spelling.
Yeah.
Because cupboard is rubbish.
Yeah.
Frank Skinner.
On Absolute Radio.
Absolute Radio.
Hey, I'm Frank Skinner and I'm on Absolute Radio. Not only that, but I'm with Emily Dean and Alan Cochrane. Why don't you text us on 8 12 15? Then you can be on Absolute Radio too, or at least your sentiments can. Also, you can follow the show on Twitter. This is the space age. At Frank on the Radio. Or you old traditionalists can email us through the Absolute Radio website. Love ya. Okay.
I like the love you. That was a bit love you. Here's Simply Red.
I forgot dub dub dub.
You know, I was saying I was concerned about microwaves earlier, like some sort of 1970s housewife.
No, but usually the bloke
There
who
was-
works next to the one in the office goes blind in one eye. That was always the story.
No,
wasn't
but
it?
microwaves do emit there is radiation, though. That's correct.
Who is
But a
that?
demolition lover says, "Tell Emily that microwaves aren't dangerous. They are a different frequency on the electromagnetic spectrum to gamma X-rays.
Okay.
Gamma/X-rays. Okay.
Okay, Emily. Well, turns out they're not dangerous. They're a different frequency to gamma rays on the spectrum.
Okay.
And also,
He said tell Emily.
546 has texted...
Does she take sugar, by the way?
Who, 546 or Emily?
Carry on.
546 has texted, Lincoln could have fitted the Gettysburg Address into 2 tweets.
No.
Under 200 words, he could have fitted it into 2 tweets.
No, but it's characters, tweets.
Oh.
Yeah.
Made a complete fool of herself.
546. You need to have a long
546. The sackcloth and ashes is in that cupboard. You know that cupboard just by the front
Frank?
door when you go out where you keep the umbrella and the Wellingtons. They're
Although
in there.
Frank
might
doesn't
be.
even like Twitter, and he knows that.
We might be made fools of if, actually, unbeknown to us, the Gettysburg Address contains loads of small words, and it does fit.
It doesn't, because it has things like government by the people, the people for
Government,
the people.
immediately.
Government.
that's it,
I mean,
they're
they've blown a hole in it.
Yeah.
The whole
Look,
thing.
and never mind this. I want to talk about the DOC.
I want to talk about the Gettysburg Address. Oh, no, okay,
I
sorry.
want to talk about the DOC.
What is the
DOC?
DOC?
Duke of Cambridge.
You know, I forgot he's called that.
Oh, that's Prince William.
Prince of William.
No, not Prince of William.
I'm going to call him the Prince of William from now on, because in life I often find the mistakes are better than the real stuff.
Yes.
Yeah, but that makes him
There's
POW.
There's something brilliant about the Prince of William.
I don't like POW though. The Prince of William.
You don't like POWs?
No.
That's a fine thing to say.
The Prince of
what
William
they
had
did
a
for us.
party, Frank,
Yeah.
at Kensington Palace this week. Did you read about this? The Winter Ball.
Well, I think I saw the. I think we all saw the clip this
Did
week.
you see the clip? So,
They looked like they were having a ball, didn't they?
well, it's
I mean,
Prince
that's
of
the honest-
William. It's Taylor Swift.
Taylor Swift of all people.
She looked good, I thought.
Well, I've tailed a few Swifts in my time. That was when I worked in the ornithological divorce courts as a private investigator.
And JBJ,
Yes.
John Bon Jovi.
Who I think is a very great fool.
Do you?
I interviewed John Bon Jovi, and now there's a man who's taken the teeth thing.
Too far.
I spent the whole interview looking at his teeth.
Yeah.
The East dentist could have took a leaf out of the book of the Islamic carpet makers, you know, who put the delivery
Yeah.
at fault.
Absolutely.
There was you've got to have
Too white and too...
You've got to have a little bit of indentation or something to make them look like teeth. You can't just have like lumps of pearl in your mouth like that.
No.
Ludicrous. That was my view. Anyway, I'm just going to stop to
Okay.
play one of my choices.
This is
Frank Skinner, Absolute Radio.
Well, so what they did, it was all in a good cause. It was a
Can you go
charity
into
auction.
footballers' parlance now? The syntax. What they
What
did
he's
right
done-
was
They've looked up. They've seen John Bon
Yeah.
Jovi.
He's seen Jonathan Ross,
Yeah.
who was the MC for the evening.
Oh, was he?
Yes. So I know what really happened that night. Anyway, he got up on stage and he sung "Living on a Prayer," didn't he? There was pressure put on him to sing it, I believe,
Oh, was there?
Was there?
He looked
in
very
a nice
willing.
way. But he was a good sport. That's what I love. You see about the DOC. He is a good sport.
Yeah, he looked like he was willing. if you
Well, he had
give the
presenter
pun.
hands. Did you
Willing.
notice?
Yes, I know. It was Prince Charles at the tree planting ceremony. Hands.
You know those presenter hands when the presenters put their fingernails together at the front,
Right.
like a mandarin.
I
Do you
saw.
do that?
I saw Deck does it
I don't do it.
sometimes. No,
Do
Deck
they?
does it.
Yeah, you get
And does the hands in pockets.
There's actually, if you get to the National Portrait Gallery, there's a painting of Sir Trevor MacDonald, and he's actually got presenter hands on the painting.
Has he?
Perfect.
What I didn't like about John Bon Jovi,
Oh, this should take a while. I'll make myself comfortable.
settle down by the fireside, Frank, was that he turned it into a slowie.
I know, he was... Oh, how embarrassing.
Living on a Prayer, it's quite an upbeat... It's a fist puncher, isn't it?
Oh, it was...
Yeah.
He turned it into Lighters in the Air.
You know what he did? He took what was a sing-along, and
Yeah.
he tried to be a bit soulful.
Don't
He
do
used as
that.
an instrumental breakbeat.
Yeah.
It's a sing-along.
Yeah.
Certainly
Don't
not
start
when
going,
you've got the Prince on.
don't do that. It's a
Yeah.
sing-along. No one wants to see, they want to see the POW singing it.
Exactly.
Taylor Swift, nice Swift, nice dress.
Nice Swift.
But can you step back a bit? This is not your moment.
No.
I know.
You sing this regularly.
Yeah.
Yeah, we can hear you sing any time.
Yeah.
This could be our one
We
opportunity.
can. We won't. But we can.
I liked him. I thought he was good though. I mean, he wasn't.
It's the wrong song, though, isn't it?
He wasn't putting his heart and soul into it. I think he was trying not to be heard because I strained to hear his voice and
Yes.
you couldn't really hear
Yeah,
it. Don't you
yeah.
think, boys?
I had the same thing.
Living on a prayer. I
I mean, Living on a
Prayer.
Prayer is the wrong song for him to sing, really. If a celeb's going to sing that, it should be the Archbishop of Canterbury. really,
Oh,
shouldn't
good.
You're right. But
it? He should have sang something by Prince.
that would have
Yes.
been
That's what I think.
excellent.
William, it was really nothing. That is his party piece, though, Living on a Prayer, because he did that at Zara's wedding.
It was, if that was his party piece, it wasn't very. It doesn't look like he knew any of the verse bits.
No, he was struggling
Yeah.
a bit,
I
wasn't
wonder
he?
what his
Kind of-
brother's party piece is.
Pardon?
I wonder what his brother's party piece is.
What, Harry?
Yeah.
I've seen his party piece.
I don't think
It was in shadow, but there it was. See, mine used to be. Well, this was
What's yours?
in my drinking days. I used to get on crowded buses, omnibuses,
Yeah.
and I would go. Gaudete, Christus es natus ex Maria Virgine, gaudete. Everybody! Gaudete. And never did anyone ever join in,
I
ever.
love that. It's
I'm
beautiful.
surprised that nobody joined in. What is that?
I'll tell you what it is, because we have some lovely friends, and the sons are at Winchester, and they sing that a lot.
Well, it was,
Do they?
I'm
Is it from
familiar...
your posh schooling? Is that what it is?
No,
It was when he was at Winchester.
Eli Span had a Christmas hit with it.
It's based on Latin.
I know, it's based on Latin. It's Latin. I suppose you could say this show is based on radio. But loosely.
You're listening to Frank Skinner's podcast from Absolute Radio.
Frank's not coming for breakfast after the show. It's all over.
Well,
Really depressed me, that.
okay, sorry about that.
First world problems, yeah.
No, I'm just because he paid last week. That's all.
Oh, yeah.
That's true. Well, maybe I can just give you the cash to take with you. Put it in your glove, though, so you don't lose
You
it.
know what? I'd be very much obliged
Okay,
if you would do that.
no probs.
I think we need to read out this email. It's regarding Doctor Who, but
I thought we were going to have a Doctor
I
Who
know,
embargo.
but judge ye not.
Regarde le doctor.
Judge ye not, because it's relevant. It's to do with your week in many ways.
Okay.
Dear Dr. Skinner and his companions. I like that. I think it's nice if there are any interlopers. Like Frank, I'm a massive Doctor Who, it just says, having watched it from the very first episode.
Ah.
I'm a massive Doctor Who.
It must be Colin Baker. He's a massive Doctor Who.
However, I was perturbed at the team last week tucking into the 11th Doctor's favourite dish of fish fingers and custard. I feel that I should point out to Frank that in reality, Matt Smith actually tucked into coconut breaded cakes made to look like fish fingers.
What a wuss.
Obviously not as brave as you and your colleagues.
No, what's happened to method acting?
Exactly.
Can I point out that the 6th Doctor ate possum anus on live TV?
And he was a method actor, yeah?
No, that was at my parents' house. I'd also like to congratulate Frank on realising his ambition of appearing in Doctor Who. Well, a 50th anniversary related programme anyway. Perhaps Frank would like to elaborate to the readers on this particular achievement. That's from Steve. Can I say, I just read this. I thought that was a joke.
Yes.
What?
But I'm starting to think maybe this is true.
No, yeah, it isn't a joke.
There was saying that.
It was after the anniversary special went out last week on the BBC. There was a red button option,
Yeah.
and the red button option was a programme called the Five-ish Doctors Reboot,
Oh, yeah.
and it's a sort of it's about the old classic Doctors like Peter Davison and Sylvester McCoy and Colin Baker in particular, trying to get into the 50th special in some way because they were excluded. So it's a spoof,
Right.
with lots of various cameo appearances, and
in jokes, was there?
lots of very, very in jokes. But on Red
great.
Button, that's
Excellent.
fine. Red
Yeah,
Button
yeah.
is like the studio theatre to the main auditorium.
Well, on red, they spend a lot of money on these red button things.
Sounds lovely.
And, I dropped a slight hint at the end. In last week's show, I said I'm very much a red button person. I don't know if you noticed that. But anyway,
Oh.
you see, we were sworn to secrecy about this thing that we can't tell anyone. I didn't even tell Kath.
Didn't you?
Well, also, she'd have probably said it was incredibly, incredibly offensive. So no, and it was basically I play a Dalek operator. So I'm sitting in the Dalek operator's room with Nick Briggs, who's the voice of the Daleks, the proper voice of the Daleks, and several other monsters and things. And David Troughton, who is the son of Patrick Troughton.
Patrick Troughton's
the second
son.
Doctor. Yes,
Oh.
so it was really exciting. I just got an email from Peter Davison, who was also a
Brilliant.
doctor, as you know, the 5th.
Yeah.
And he sent, would you like to be in this thing, blah, blah, blah.
Oh,
Sent me
hang
the
on, has he
script.
turned into some casting director?
Yeah, he directed it as well. And
Did he?
at the end, he wrote Peter Davison, Doctor number 5 in brackets in case I...
Excellent.
So yeah, it was properly, really fabulously exciting. But I have to say, it was lit in such a way that my belly
Did you
was
not look good, Frank?
incredibly dominant.
Was it?
I'll show you a picture.
Oh.
A still, and I mean, I just thought, oh my God. You know the six-pack challenge I nearly did last year, and then they abandoned it. I was offered a six-pack challenge.
Yeah.
Well, now I think it would be more of a six-pack apocalypse. So, but it was great. So I haven't been in Doctor Who, but I was damn close.
Absolute Radio.
Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio.
I need to share something with you.
Do you?
I had an unfortunate dining experience recently.
Okay.
I was meeting some friends in the aviation industry.
High flyers.
Yeah.
Oh,
You know, I'm
okay.
quite well connected in the aviation industry.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, well, I am. And...
Oh, yes, you knew the man from BA or something.
Oh, yeah, I do. I know a few from BA.
Okay.
Got a few contacts in BA. I arrived
With the 18.
fashionably late.
I'm not a BA. I'm not one of the BA barrackers. As they say in the 18.
And we went to this restaurant. I won't name it.
No, don't name
It
it.
was so awful, I think I should, but I won't. It was a
You could
central
do it.
London...
You could do a Kanye.
Yeah, I could.
Ask our readers,
Yes.
our readers in Burnley and the like, to boycott it.
There were two men greeting you, and they looked very sinister. You know, the maitre d' is meant to be someone where they're welcoming and you want to come in.
Easiest job in the world, isn't it? You just say to people, excellent choice, madam.
And how was your meal?
Yeah.
These men,
Easy,
they look like...
easy.
They were quite old to be maitre d's, if I'm honest. They were in their late 60s. They looked very sleazy. They smelt of cigarettes. They were weird.
Sounds like they were messing things
They were
up.
very
in the kitchen.
Sopranos.
I've got a worrying feeling about these, that at one point you say to the waiter, I didn't like the maitre d', but we don't have a maitre d'. There were two brothers, but they died in the 1950s. Oh, no.
So I approached, and they went, hello. I said, oh, hello. And then, Brazilian or Indian?
Oh, you sure you hadn't gone to the beauty parlour?
Well, I tried to
Brazilian or
make light
Indian?
of it. I said, neither, English. He didn't laugh.
No.
He went, Brazilian or Indian, just with a little more emphasis.
Oh, dear.
I thought, well, there was obviously an Indian upstairs and the Brazilian restaurant downstairs. So I thought,
unusual.
my aviation friends, they strike me as more Brazilian fans.
Yeah.
So I said Brazilian. So I went down a huge staircase it was.
And could you hear from downstairs? Yeah.
I'll tell you exactly what I could hear.
People dancing.
Which I heard all night. Hey, Caribe, hey, come. It just went on all night.
Could you hear?
That would have been welcome respite from
Oh,
Hey,
dear.
Caribe, hey, come.
Well, if you're going to go Brazilian, you're going to get all that.
Well, I've been Brazilian before and that's never happened.
I was going to say, when you went down the stairs, was there just a thin strip of carpet right down? Anyway, continue.
It was the 7th level of hell. It was awful. You're meant to eat whilst people are having a dance class. What's the Brazilian dance? I can't even remember.
Oh, that would give me indigestion.
rumba.
No, salsa.
Samba?
Yeah, something like
I
that.
can't even eat near somebody who flails their elbows about. It
Oh,
gives
well,
me-
there's
it
15
makes me feel
people.
queasy.
There's 15 people going, and a band singing. So we
Okay.
sit down, and you can't hear anything. He's just screaming, this Brazilian man, into the microphone. And there's the man on the Max Beasley type doing the
Meanwhile,
bongos.
upstairs. Charlie Kelly, Charlie Kelly.
Oh, I so wish I'd been in Charlie Kelly.
Yeah,
So
it's
much
awful.
better.
It's nice. I
chose.
love a bit of sitar.
I know. I took the road less travelled and I made a terrible mistake, as it turned out. Anyway, in fact, it was so loud. Everything's too themed. That was my problem with it. You go into the toilets, it had all Portuguese, homens or senoras. I don't know what
no,
that
that's
is.
confusing.
And there's a man dancing by the toilets, by the ladies' toilets. In the end, I went up to the maitre d'. I said, excuse me, does this band play all night? Because I can't bear this.
Can I remember when Steve Williams did the show? Do you remember?
Yeah.
I don't.
I went to, no, you weren't there. We went to a local restaurant after for brunch, and I remember he went to the toilet, and then he came back in and said to the waiter, M and F, is that fellas or no, male and female? Right. And off he went. But it's great that he came back and checked. I love that.
Was he joking?
No, he was serious.
That's really obvious.
Well, I don't know, you want to be absolutely certain. It's all right being... It's like, it's like Blockbusters. I know the gold run looks easy at home. But when you're actually standing there...
Absolute Absolute Radio.
Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio.
So, I'm in the Brazilian restaurant.
Yeah.
I've gone for the Brazilian, not the Indian option, and I think I've made a terrible mistake.
Well, judging by the Gandhi-based opera I saw this week, you did.
Could you hear the snapping of poppadoms from the stereo box? That would have really upset me.
Crazy.
When I went to the bathroom, as I was saying, it was awful. There was a Brazilian man dancing
in the bathroom.
In the communal area for the what are they called?
Tough if you're not
The
Portuguese
water,
men and women, whatever, senores and
the vestibule.
homens. Yeah.
Was he dancing professionally or was he a customer?
He was sort of
Was it
gyrating.
amateurish?
No, dancing professionally. They
Just
paid him to dance
amateurish.
there.
They said, "Can you dance? But can you dance in the annex of the lavatories?"
Because we're not that proud of it.
It was horrible. I went, oh! So I walked
It's
out.
a bit like when they pop that bubble gum.
It's been quite dramatic this
That's
week.
my
hasn't
sound effect. This week, I sit back down, the waitress comes over. She's one of those swishy ponytail and low-cut top, you know the type.
Was
it? I
she
like her.
Brazilian?
She's the best
Yes.
thing about this restaurant so far.
Yes.
She's the only redeeming feature of this story.
Well, I went off for a bit. She went, okay then, wine list for gentlemen, cocktail list for the ladies.
What's
Well,
a lot
you
of
know.
Almurray, yeah?
I got a bit angry.
She also works in the in Leicester Square.
That's what I said, Frank. I said, in a terrible twist of fate, we like wine and they like cocktails.
And what did
She
she
didn't
say to
understand
that?
it, she went,
Well,
She
that's
just
always a
laughed.
good response.
Yeah. But I did end up going to the maitre d' again. I said, look, how long is this going to go on, this music? Do they have a break? He said, yes, they have a break. I said, when do they have a break? He went, up to them. I didn't like the sound of up to them.
See,
Wow,
that's-
they're like jazz. Just keep going until
I think
they
this
feel
is
like
the
a
thing,
rest.
though, is that what you feel with the Brazilians is party time forever. That's why I would have said no. I don't want to go to the Brazilian restaurant because
Yeah.
party time is not me.
We left. We went up to the Indian for a nightcap.
Is that true?
Although I was clearing my house this week and I found a page.
A big move.
A page I'd ripped out of OK magazine in which I'd been voted Party Animal of the Year. How did that happen? And there's pictures of me at parties with girls and stuff.
Was there?
Me?
Party animal of the
I've kind of sort of forgotten that any of that part of my life ever happened.
I mean, there is a logic to it. If you want your party to be okay, then invite
Yeah.
you along and you don't drink and you just tell people facts and speak a bit of Latin and
Yeah, but
everyone
people
goes
don't want
over
that
and-
at parties.
Exactly. Then they go home and go, yeah, the party was okay.
Do you want to go on to... That's what they want at parties.
Exactly. You keep a party okay, not amazing.
I don't want. Have you ever read Rasselas, Prince of Abyssinia by Dr. Samuel Johnson? It's a very good moral tale. Are you going? Are you off? Sorry,
Party animal of the year. Was that before you were rear of the year or after? You've
Well,
got a lot
I
of
don't. I have
things
to
of the
check
year.
my. I've got a timescale wall chart.
He's won a lot of awards, to be fair.
For-
Well, I
of
haven't.
the year.
Yeah, but party animal. Anyway, sorry, I don't know where we got to
Anyway,
that.
well, that was it, really. I just decided
Sounds great.
never again.
So-
As
How was
far
the
as the
food?
Brazilians go, how
was the
do you think
food?
it was? It was awful.
Was it meat?
Anywhere,
Cheese football.
No, but thanks for the tip. Anywhere where it's that over-themed, my point is the food's going to be terrible, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yes.
They
Was
spent
it better or worse than the fish fingers and custard that we had on this show last
I
week?
don't know because I didn't taste it.
I thought
What?
that was fine, but I must admit, I didn't know that Matt Smith had chicken there.
Coconut breaded.
Yeah, I
when
mean,
I ate in the sitcom, I was eating the actual food that I was eating.
Oh, here we
Prawn
go.
sandwiches,
Yeah,
cheese sandwiches, crisps.
Anyway, music.
This is
Frank Skinner, Absolute Radio.
We've just had a slight moment here because
Oh, we've had a
we're going to
moment.
put Christmas jumpers on for some photos for
Yeah.
Absolute, and Emily only had a jumper already on and a bra underneath, nothing,
Yeah.
no t-shirt,
And I
on.
wasn't going to put two jumpers on one over the other.
and look chubby.
Yeah.
No way. So me
I
and
don't want
the
people to think I've
cockerel,
chunked up.
me and the cockerel literally sat with our backs
Yeah.
to Emily while she did the deed,
Mm-hmm.
and we all forgot that there's actually a webcam in the studio.
Yeah. So I basically have done a free strip.
So men who watch this show just hoping to get a flick of Emily's hair as a special moment have actually Christmas has indeed come early for them. How lovely. Oh, we had a text, didn't we, from the tweet lady?
Yeah, I can't imagine what text we'll have for next week's show after that moment. But yeah, we've had a text that re my tweet Gettysburg faux pas. I realised as soon as I had sent it what a damn fool I am, and because you'd not read it out straight away, I thought I got away with it.
This was a lady that said that Gettysburg Address could have been 2 tweets because she got characters and words mixed up.
Yeah, it's tough, isn't it?
But you know, the Cockerel did read it out thinking it was a valid point.
Yeah, I totally read it out thinking that it was right. I'm a fool also.
So don't feel too bad. Remember, he's a very respected actor.
I am, yeah.
And comedian.
Frank, also, are
you an actor and comedian now, or are you a comedian and actor?
Come on, you've known me as a comedian for so many years, and as an actor
I know, but you've
a month
changed.
and a half.
I've changed, and that's the problem.
You certainly are. How many people now are looking on iPlayer on the off chance you can get the Absolute Radio webcam?
It was a full-on
scroll back on a webcam?
I
I don't
can't
know if you
believe
could.
I've done that.
I don't think you can scroll back.
Thankfully.
It's full on, Frank. Right, this is from Phil, and I'm going to read this out because you were talking about Doctor Who.
Okay, well, and after this we'll have an embargo to the rest of the year on Doctor Who. What about
We
that?
will. Phil says, "Hi Frank and the team, I feel compelled to contact you with this missed pun opportunity in last week's Doctor Who episode. I loved the 50th anniversary episode, but really wanted the Doctor to forgive the Zygons at the end of the episode, just so he could have said, let's let Zygons be Zygons."
Fabulous.
Long time reader, that's Phil,
That is
793.
I do, yeah. Yeah, but I think by the end, the Doctor was just trying to work out what Tom Baker was doing there. That was one of the great mysteries, that Tom Baker turned up as the curator of the National Gallery, and we weren't sure whether it was supposed to be
Him as
the
himself.
Doctor had somehow retired after his regeneration, which is impossible. Anyway, we didn't quite... It's that moment when original British drama, that the thing they put on the front of original British drama became surprise, surprise. Let's just get Tom Baker on. Doesn't need to make any sense. But I loved the show. It was great. On the missed puns thing,
Yes.
I was watching one of those... those Kevin Bacon phone type adverts?
Oh, yes, yeah.
There's one in which he talks about, since I've been living in England, I've discovered the no-brainer. And he starts talking about what a no-brainer is. And one of his examples, he goes into a cafe and he says, she goes, croissant or full English? And he says, no-brainer, full English. And then he eats the full English. And that isn't a bacon joke.
Oh.
Can you believe
That's
that?
extraordinary.
He must have said, I like fun, but no bacon punnery.
That's in his contract.
Yeah.
Will
Fancy
drive
missing a-
self and no bacon pun.
Fancy missing that. Will Drive Self, is that his middle name? Drive. Okay, anyway, Mark Crossley's coming up next. And thank you so much for listening and for watching, some of you. And if the good Lord spares us and the creeks don't rise, we'll be back again this time next week. Now get out.
The Frank Skinner Show on Absolute Radio. Back Saturday morning from 8. Tune in live for the full Frank experience.
Absolute Radio.